Hello everyone and welcome to the Scuffed kitchen. Today we are making a classic Irish dish, shepherd's pie. Originally created out of necessity in the 1700s in Ireland, this dish has survived the centuries and is now beloved across the globe. It's not that hard to make either. Shepherd's pie consists of two parts, a rich, succulent meat base and a velvety, creamy potato mash on top. Without further ado, let's get started with the ingredients. For the meat part, you will need 500 gram beef or lamb mince, 30 grams all-purpose flour, 15 ml olive oil, 200 ml beef broth, 100 ml red wine, 1 onion, 1 carrot, 100 gram fresh peas, 100 gram corn kernels, 15 ml Worcestershire sauce, 1 or 2 small garlic cloves, 30 grams tomato paste, and finally some fresh herbs, thyme, rosemary and parsley. The potato mash consists of, potatoes, 700 grams of them. Additionally, you need 150 ml of milk, 100 grams of unsalted butter, 1 egg, 30 grams of grated parmesan, and a few spices, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, half a teaspoon nutmeg, and finally salt and pepper to taste for both parts. That was a lot. First, let's prep all the ingredients. As always, begin by sharpening your knife. Afterwards, peel and dice the onion. Set it aside. Continue with the carrot. Peel it, cut off both ends, and roughly dice it. Remove the wooden stems of the thyme. Then bunch up and roll all the herbs. Then chop them finely. Try not to crush them, but actually chop. Crush the garlic, peel it, then finally chop it up. I would also recommend crushing it against the board with the flat side of your knife to release more flavor. Once you're done, set everything aside. At this point, I should also mention that this recipe can be found on my website. There's a ton of more and additional info, and you can follow along on your own time. Check out scuffedkitchen.com. It's free, and the link is in the description. Thank you. Now is also a good time to peel the potatoes. Once done, dice them roughly. Because we will mash them later, it's okay when not all pieces are equally sized. Next, let's cook the beef mince. For that, add the olive oil into a large pot and heat it up on high. Once the oil is shimmering, add the beef. Keep it moving to prevent sticking and break the mince up with a spoon. Cook until all the excess water has evaporated. See this liquid here? We don't want that in our pie at all. Once you're satisfied, set the beef aside for later. Afterwards, use the same pot over medium-high heat. Add a bit more olive oil, then add the onion and let it sweat out until translucent. Be careful not to let the bottom burn and adjust the temperature accordingly. Once the onions are done, add the beef back in. Stir, then add the herbs, black pepper and salt to taste. When you add the Worcestershire sauce, you should hear a loud sizzle. Add the tomato paste and try to coat the meat evenly. Then add all the veggies and mix again. And then finally add the flour, mix once more. And then add the red wine and beef broth. Stir immediately and thoroughly until a thick mass has formed. Lower the heat to simmer and let the alcohol evaporate. Then give it a taste test and adjust with more salt if needed. Just a heads up, the carrots won't be fully cooked here, that will happen later in the oven. For now, set the pot aside. Let's continue with the potato mash. Put the potatoes and an adequate amount of water on the stove. Add plenty of salt and bring everything to a boil. Once boiling, set the lid ajar and let the potatoes boil for around 14 minutes. Be careful to not let the foam boil over. It's now a good time to preheat the oven to 200 degrees C. As a final step of preparation, separate the egg. We will only need the yolk. Once the potatoes are done, carefully remove the excess water. Be mindful of the hot steam. Set them on your counter, then add the milk, butter and spices. Finally, add salt and pepper to taste, then use your favorite potato masher and go to town. Do not use a blender, as that will make the mash super gummy. Add the parmesan and stir thoroughly. And finally, add the raw egg yolk. This will give the mash an extremely rich, velvety finish. With both parts of the shepherd's pie done, it's time to assemble. Put all of the meat in an oven-safe dish. Then flatten it out with the back of a spoon. Afterwards, coat the surface with the mash. Use your spoon for that as well. Start from the edges, then make your way to the middle. We want a nice, even top surface, sealing off the edges. The side view should look something like this. About half mince, half mash. My layers are a bit uneven, but that's completely fine. Move the dish to an oven rack. Because it has the potential to boil over, I would recommend putting an oven mat below as well. Finish the dish by baking it for 25 minutes. Once that timer's up, pull everything out of the oven and let it rest for about 15 minutes. Use a knife to cut out your servings. Then use a wide spatula to lift them onto a plate. The pie should more or less hold its shape. And with that, we're done. I gotta say, this is comfort food at its finest. It's rich, it's creamy, it's oh so indulgent. What's not to love? Please tell me your favorite shepherd's pie variants in the comments down below. And while you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time!